Welcome back. Today we're pulling back the curtain on Pakistan, not the scenic landscapes, but the hidden struggles millions face daily. We're diving into 10 shocking realities that rarely make the news, but shape lives in profound ways. This isn't just about statistics, it's about real people, real stories. If you believe these stories deserve to be heard, please subscribe. It helps us keep shining a light where it's needed most. Let's get started. Here are 10 realities you need to know. Stay with us for the last one. It's the most powerful of all. Child labor in Pakistan isn't history. It's a daily tragedy for millions of children across the country, unfolding in real time, every single day. Kids as young as 7 are forced to work in factories, brick kilns, and fields. Their small hands carrying heavy loads and their childhood stolen by the grip of poverty. Instead of learning in classrooms, they're exposed to hazardous conditions, toxic fumes, and relentless exploitation, risking their health and safety for a meager wage. Each child is a story of lost potential, a dream deferred, trapped in a cycle of hardship that's nearly impossible to break without help. Poverty forces families into impossible choices, making them decide between sending their children to school or putting food on the table for another day. These children aren't just numbers or statistics. They are living, breathing dreams denied, their hopes fading with every passing day spent at work instead of in school. The cycle continues. Uneducated children grow up to become unskilled adults, repeating the same pattern of struggle and hardship, generation after generation. It's a silent epidemic, visible everywhere in plain sight, yet too often ignored by those who have the power to make a difference. The emotional toll is immense, robbing kids of hope, joy, and the simple pleasures of childhood, leaving scars that last a lifetime. This isn't just an economic issue. It's a moral crisis that demands urgent attention and action from all of us. Every day, millions of children lose the one thing they can never reclaim: their youth, their innocence, and their right to a better future. The cost is not just individual, it's a generation's future, a nation's progress, and the hope for a brighter tomorrow. And it's happening right now, in this very moment, as we watch and listen. The time to act is now. Imagine starting every day with a desperate search for water. Before the sun rises, families in rural Pakistan are already on the move, driven by a need that never lets up. The hope for a single bucket of clean water shapes their entire day. For millions in Pakistan, water scarcity is a relentless struggle, woven into the fabric of daily life. The land is dry, the rivers are shrinking, and the promise of rain feels more distant each year. Women and children walk miles for water that's often unsafe, risking disease with every sip. The journey is exhausting, but the alternative, going without, is unthinkable. This daily quest keeps girls out of school and families in poverty. Instead of learning or earning, hours are lost to the search for water, trapping generations in a cycle that's hard to break. Climate change and poor management are making things worse. Rivers dry up, cities run dry, and the poor suffer most. The water crisis is no longer just a rural problem, it's reaching the heart of cities too. The wealthy buy clean water, the rest are left behind. Inequality grows as some can pay for safety, while others are forced to take risks every day. The anxiety is constant. Will there be water today? Will it make us sick? Every empty tap brings new worry, every murky glass a new gamble. It's a basic human right denied, with devastating consequences for health, education, and dignity. Waterborne diseases spread, children miss school, and hope fades with every dry season. For many, water is life's biggest uncertainty. Each day brings new questions, but never enough answers. And the crisis is only deepening. Protests rise, tempers flare, but solutions remain out of reach for most. Every drop is a battle. Each container filled is a small victory, but the struggle never truly ends. This is the reality for millions. The lines grow longer, the water scarcer, and the hope for change more urgent than ever. And it's not going away. Until water flows freely for all, the thirst that never ends will define life for generations to come. Gender inequality in Pakistan limits millions of lives from birth. Girls are often denied education, seen as less valuable than boys. Even educated women face discrimination, lower pay, and workplace hostility. Safety is a daily concern. Harassment and violence restrict freedom and opportunity. Yet, women are fighting back. activists, professionals, and everyday heroes pushing for change. Their resilience is inspiring, but the struggle is constant. The barriers are deep-rooted, but so is the determination to break them. This isn't just a women's issue, it's a national one. Progress is slow, but the fight continues. Every step forward matters, and the world should be watching. In cities like Lahore, the air itself is toxic. Smog from vehicles, factories, and burning fields turns daily life into a health hazard. Breathing becomes dangerous. Children and the elderly suffer most. Schools close, flights are cancelled, and outdoor life grinds to a halt. Long-term exposure leads to chronic illness and shortens lives. The government's response is slow, and solutions lag far behind the scale of the problem. For most, there's no escape, just masks and hope for cleaner days. The city becomes a trap, not a home. Pollution steals the simple joys of life. It's a crisis hiding in plain sight, and it's getting worse every year. The air is thick with danger. Political instability in Pakistan isn't just headlines, it's daily chaos. Frequent government changes and power struggles disrupt lives and businesses. Economic policies shift overnight, making planning impossible. Basic services suffer as leaders focus on survival, not progress. Protests and strikes can shut down entire cities, fueling uncertainty and fear. Trust in institutions erodes, leaving people cynical and disengaged. The result? A nation stuck in limbo, unable to move forward. Instability isn't just politics. It's a barrier to hope, and it touches every life. Millions of Pakistani children are out of school, one of the world's highest rates. Distance, poverty, and corruption keep classrooms empty. Even when schools exist, many lack teachers, resources, or even basic facilities. Education quality is poor, focused on memorization, not real learning. For most families, the costs, uniforms, books, transport, are too high. The result is a deep divide. A privileged few get ahead, while the majority are left behind. Every child out of school is a lost opportunity for the nation. Education should open doors, not lock them. The future depends on fixing this, and time is running out. Poverty in Pakistan is relentless and all-consuming. It's not just about missing luxuries, it's about struggling for food, shelter, and medicine. Even the educated can't find jobs. Hard work rarely leads to security. The emotional toll is crushing. Shame, stress, and hopelessness are constant companions. Slums grow, families make impossible choices, and exploitation thrives. Poverty drives child labor, dangerous work, and desperation. It's not just a lack of money, it's a lack of power and hope. For millions, poverty is a prison with no escape. The burden is heavy, and it's everywhere. And it's holding the country back. Getting sick in Pakistan is a gamble with your life and savings. Public hospitals are overcrowded and underfunded. Private care is expensive and unregulated. Many rely on unqualified doctors and fake medicines. A single illness can bankrupt a family or leave them untreated. Rural areas are especially neglected. Sometimes there's no doctor for miles. The system fails the most vulnerable when they need help most. Healthcare should heal, not harm. For millions, it's a daily risk, and the cost is often everything they have. For religious minorities in Pakistan, daily life means facing discrimination and fear. Blasphemy laws and social prejudice make them targets for violence and exclusion. Many are forced into menial jobs, denied education and housing, and live with constant threats. Attacks on places of worship and forced conversions are all too common. Yet these communities show remarkable resilience, fighting for their rights and holding on to their identity. They ask only for dignity and equality in their own country. The struggle is ongoing and the risks are real, but their courage is undeniable. Their stories deserve to be heard, and justice is long overdue. In Pakistan, natural disasters like earthquakes and floods don't just bring hardship. They turn everyday struggles into overwhelming catastrophes. The land itself seems to conspire against its people, shaking the ground beneath their feet and sending walls of water through their homes and fields. The 2022 floods were among the worst in living memory, submerging a third of the country. Entire villages vanished beneath muddy water, homes and crops swept away in hours. and millions of lives were upended in the blink of an eye. Recovery is painfully slow, often chaotic, and many communities feel abandoned by the very authorities meant to help them. People sift through rubble, searching for anything salvageable, while relief camps empty out as hope fades. Displaced families are forced to live in makeshift tents for months, sometimes even years, exposed to the harsh elements, disease, and hunger. Children grow up in these camps, their futures uncertain, their dreams put on hold. The poorest suffer the most, losing what little they had managed to build over a lifetime. For them, every disaster means starting over from nothing, with even fewer resources than before. Weak healthcare systems, broken roads and bridges, and political chaos make rebuilding lives and communities nearly impossible. Hospitals are overwhelmed, and basic services collapse when they are needed most. Children lose years of education as schools remain closed or destroyed. Isolated communities are left to fend for themselves, cut off from help and hope as the world moves on. Each disaster multiplies existing problems, poverty deepens, inequality widens, and neglect becomes more visible. The cycle of suffering grows with every new calamity. For many, life becomes a constant battle against forces beyond their control. Every day is a struggle to survive, to find food, clean water, and shelter. The system meant to protect and support them is broken, leaving people frustrated and angry, forced to rely on their own resilience and the kindness of neighbors. And so, the cycle of disaster and abandonment continues, year after year. Families return to damaged homes, only to face the same devastation again. This is the harshest reality of all, a reality marked by loss, grief, and the relentless struggle to rebuild. And it demands our attention, our compassion, and our action, because no one should have to face disaster alone. These are the 10 realities shaping life in Pakistan. Difficult to hear, harder to live. But awareness is the first step toward change. My goal isn't to leave you hopeless, but to inspire empathy and action. If these stories moved you, please subscribe and help us keep these voices alive. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's start a real conversation. Don't turn away from these truths. Thank you for watching and for caring. Together, we can make a difference.